Hello. So in past video probably you saw how to install and run Jmeter, and today let's switch to next topic. It is creation of simple Jmeter script and start execution. For today we will learn how to create it, how to manage it, and uh, how to run it locally in graphic interface mode and without graphic interface mode. So to do that, let's first of all decide what will be tested. Under the test, we will test open and free to use API with name petstore.swagger.io. It is common simple API with CRUD logic, so you're able to create entity. Currently we will work with user, create user, delete user, update user. We have a login request, logout request, so it's pretty simple to use and very easy to train on this kind of API for your skills. Okay, and let's run our Jmeter. To do that, I will open Apache Jmeter folder. I can make it bigger. So for now, we don't need to use our Copilot. So I will run it from the terminal, new terminal, and I will type sh bin jmeter.sh. Those shell script will run our Jmeter. The Jmeter started, and now I can create the first test plan, the first scenario. So I want to test the user creation and get user by username. So to do that, I have two requests: post request to create user and get request to get created user. Fine, totally fine. So try it. You can execute it, and we have a curl command what can be copied, and we can go to our Jmeter, go to options. I think I can make it even bigger. Yep, and that's bigger. Go to options or tools and import from curl. It's absolutely fine. Create test plan, and it automatically create the simple test plan with thread group, with HTTP requests, with header manager, with cookie manager, with view result tree, and with thread group. As you see, we have some kind of predefined properties, and currently it's parameters, and we have default value like 10, 30, and so on. Let's change it to 1, 1, -1. It's some kind of infinity by default, and we have our duration and so on. So fine, but I don't want to use this one. Same user on each iteration, no. And let's specify here not -1, but okay, let's left it as is. So what I want to do, I want to execute it. You should save your test plan before. Yeah, definitely I have to save it, so yes, and I will save it inside of the Apache Jmeter folder to make it as simple, and I will call it 02 video. Yep, fine. So I start executed, and as you see, it's executed. Request what sent it, response what we received. I can stop it, and this is my result. The latest request was failed due to hard stop of the Jmeter, so everything works, and we can continue. So what we want to do, we want to add get user command. So let's go and find the get user by username. Try it, execute it. I have to type something, for example, Jmeter test, execute it, and I can copy curl command. So let's do it, and again import it from the curl in very simple form. Create test. Nice. So the second HTTP request was added. Let's rename it like post create user, and it will be get user by, let's call it username. Fine. We have a simple sorry, it's a typo, so I want to rename the request, and it is a HTTP header manager. So fine. We have a post create user, we have get user by username, we have a two header manager, both of them absolutely identical, so I can, one of them can be removed, yes, and the second one can be moved on top and be a global. The same about cookie manager. It's honestly not needed here for this specific example, but can be useful. So we have a yeah, it's much more easy to read body data. So we have a data, we have our request, this is ASCII code, and everything looks like very smoothly. Fine. So we can start execution. So I can see that I create a user, but get user is not found because no user with name what we are using. So we are using Jmeter test, so we have to post it here, the username, but without this encoding. Let's leave it as this and try to execute. So same result, request not found. Let's do it in the more convenient, simple way. Let's try to use variable username here. So with dollar figure brackets and the keyword of name of variable, we can add to variable here. Let's copy it. Let's put the variable here as well, and let's add the simple configuration element with name user defined variables. Let's add from the clipboard. So we need to remove and left only way name, username, name of variable, and here we can type Jmeter test. Excellent. So now everything works smoothly. Not found. Usually it's happened when get request was sent faster than post request with create user was proceeded. So we can stop it, and let's move username to our global level. Okay, fine, but it's not really nice because we still see that it's the same username and so on always. So I want to make my test more rich, and I want to add CSV processing. So I want to use some kind of data set to deal with that. So to do that, I want to ask my Copilot generate a CSV file to use same variables. Please generate 200 unique data set file. Let's wait a bit and it will generate a CSV file for our JSON. Meanwhile, we can do the next. Very simple. It's replacing everything with variables. Fine. Let's switch back, and until we wait on the generation, let's add the config element. It will be CSV dataset config, and here we have to add some settings. First of all, the file name. So file will be generated, the variable's name. So the variable's name we can took from our JSON, and it will be the same name. Let's return it. Sorry, it's file encoding. Username, first name, last name. What we have? Email. Password. And we have a phone number or just phone. Ignore first line if first line include the variable's name, the column, so it can be true in our case. We use delimiter, it is a comma, and so on. So fine, we can save it, and let's return back, see our file, keep it. So we have ID, username, first name, last name, email, password, phone, user status. So to make it more convenient, we have add here as well ID, and in the end we have to use user status. Fine. So let's specify the file name, browse, user CSV, save it, and let's add timer. It will be constant timer for 300 milliseconds to avoid cases when we try to get user by username and those user wasn't created yet. So let's add this delay, let's clean everything and run test. So we can see that in the first response body, user not found, request user 1, user wasn't created, yeah, but it should works, yeah. So probably we have to extend our timer and specify it more. Let's specify 3-second delay and run again. So it executed. After immediately we execute this one, so it doesn't work for us. And let's move timer to the get request, inside of the get request, yeah. Yeah, fine. Now it will works correct, should work correct. Yeah, so we add some delay, and now our request works pretty well. Not always, but usually yes. Okay, So how it's work and why we saw that this request is failed. In response data, we have a body, but we don't have any assertion to the body itself. We have a response code, and response code is 404. And Jmeter under the hood, if response not is 200 or 201, it mark our request as a failed. So here you can add any kind of assertions as well. But before that, let's make our test more, let's call it more flexible. So I want to move petstore.swagger.io to user-defined variables. I will use it here, and I will call it host, for example. Let's use host variable. So to do that, I specify in figure brackets, I specify the host, and the same I will do here as well. And now we have some kind of simple test with parameters, with our CSV data processing, with thread group, what we automatically set up, to request, view result tree, and I want to add something more. So I want to add, for example, the timer, and or simpler, it can be even HTTP simple to add extra request, for example, try to log in by user, but probably we want to do it in next videos. So here I want to add a timer, and this timer will be not a constant timer as before, but I want to do some kind of shepherd timer. I don't see it now here. Synchronize timer, no. Those timers should be probably installed, and let's try to install it. So options, I don't see our plugin manager into the Jmeter. It's strange, before it was. So let's install it manually. It's not a big deal for us. So to install it, let's do the next. Open the Safari and type Jmeter plugin manager. Going here to the first link, going to install. We have to download it, and we have to put it to the Jmeter folder. So I want to find it into the Finder. I want to copy it, and currently I can go to the lib ext and put here, I think. No, okay, so I can do it in the terminal. So to do that, I have to navigate to the lib ext and type cp tilde downloads Jmeter. No, Jmeter plugin manager, and cp here. Fine, exit, and let's run Jmeter. After I run it, I have to open my test, and I have go to the options, plugin manager, and now it will be available in my Jmeter. And I want to type available plugin. I want to put timer and throughput shipping timer, and I want to apply change and restart Jmeter. The plugin will be installed and some updates will be installed, and after that Jmeter will be run it or started into my operation system, and I will be able to use it. So fine, everything was done smoothly. Add timer, throughput shipper timer. Yeah, it's issue with fonts into my Jmeter, so it can be fixed by overriding the font size, so never mind. And here we can specify the load profile. The load profile can be different. I will describe it in the next topic, probably more deeper, to provide the different type of load test and explain it. But now let's add something very simple. So I will increase RPs, its request per second, from 1 to 10 in, for example, let's 40 seconds. I will save it, and what it means, how it's work. So throughput shipper timer will care that Jmeter will send from 1 to 10 RPs, growing amount of RPs in 40 seconds. So each second it will increase amount of RPs somehow to achieve 10 RPs in the end of this duration. You can add multiple steps, for example, from 10 to 20 for next 60 seconds. You can add more, for example, from 20 to 30 next 60 seconds. And for example, you want to simulate some kind of degradation, so from 30 to 10 in next and for example you want to simulate from 10 to 20 to provide some kind of gaps and so on. And it will be each time I add a new row, it will be thousands. So this is the reason why the graph so crazy. So let's type from 20 to 30, for example. Fine. Yeah, so in this case we have a ramp up, we increase our load, we decrease load, we increase load again, do some kind of spike, and can test our application. It's absolutely possible. It's some kind of simulation of spikes, and after that I have to execute this request. Depend that throughput shipping timer inside of the first request, it will manage all of them. So here I should delete this timer because it will slow down my test. So I will disable it, and we can try to simulate it. But it will require some period of time. So it's better to make it simple. So let's type 10, 20, 20, 10, 20, 10. Yep. Save it, and let's try to first of all increase amount of threads to give options generate those amount of requests. So I will type 40 threads in parallel, and let's start it. We can see some get request is failed, so user wasn't not created when we ask about it. And if we will add listener with name aggregated report, we can stop it, clean everything, run again, and you will see amount of simples, and it will be increased, and you can see that increasing is not the same. So on the beginning it was increased very smoothly, and after that it increased faster, and now you will see you don't see like decrease, because you do not have like amount of RPEs here or threads, but the changes in simples can be correlated with the load what is generated, and it's our view result tree. So it's very too popular. Next time we will see how to configure it with InfluxDB and Grafana. So today you know how to add simple requests, so you can import it even from CURL. You can do it manually. Let's stop it, and as I promise, let's run our tests from the command line. And to do that, let's type next. We have to type java -jar, specify the path to Apache Jmeter, -n, it's mean without graphic user interface, and -t, and pass to our test. Also you can add -l and call it test log to set the log, and let's run it. So we have output of our aggregation report inside of the terminal. The test is started. We have some kind of summary that 40 threads was created, and we have some requests. So information will be posted into the terminal. And after some time, the test will be finished. So now we have information about test, how test going. We have information about amount of error, percentage of error. And as I remember, we have tests in infinity loop, so it can be run infinity, and probably it can be an issue for us. Here in the log you can see information about like Jmeter log, what request is executed, what is the status code, and so on. So fine. Yeah. What has happened? Why a test stopped? Test stopped. Let's run it in graphic user interface, and I will explain how it's work. So what is going on? Currently, you can see that in test we have two concurrent option. So first option, it is thread group settings, and it is loop count -1 equals to infinity. But when we go to the throughput ship timer, we see that our tests have pretty straightforward duration, and duration, it is a sum of all chunks what we specify here. So this is our final test duration and how it's managed. In real life, usually you set the variables here to easily change it on the fly when you need to run it on the CI, but in our demo it's absolutely good to have it hard-coded, and probably we will change it in the future. So okay, and let's make a summary. So we know how to install Jmeter, we know how to make test parameterized, we know how to use CSV dataset, we know how to use user-defined variables, we know how to use throughput shipper timer, know how to install plugin manager, know how to install plugin, we know how to import requests from CURL, we know how to use and debug in view result tree our responsive request, and we know how to see aggregated report. Meanwhile, about aggregated report, here you can find information inside of the Jmeter about 19 percentile, 95 percentile, 99 percentile, minimum request latency, maximum request response or request and response latency, error rate, throughput. It is a parameter of how many transaction per second can be solved by your server, and so on. So it's very nice to have it if you run your test in graphic user interface mode. You shouldn't simulate a huge amount of load, and you try to debug something and see result immediately. Fine, thank you so much, and in future video we will show how to combine it with InfluxDB and Grafana, and so on. Thank you, bye.